students, we are starting with a new chapter, Morphology of Flowering Plants. Morphology is the study of the external structures. Flowering plants, as you know, are angiosperms, one of the 5 divisions of plants. In this chapter, we are going to do the study of morphology of flowering plants, and then there is the next chapter in which we will be doing the anatomy of the flowering plants. Which are the different parts of the angiosperm plant? So we have the root, then there is the shoot, then we have the leaves, flower, eventually the flower which will become the fruit, then there will be the seed inside the fruit. We will be looking at the different types of roots, the root systems. We will be studying about the shoot, then the different types of leaves and the structure of the leaf, the flower and each of the floral whorls of the flower we will be studying in detail. Different types of fruits we will be studying, different types of seeds we will be studying, and also we will be studying about families of plants. We will be doing the morphological study of each of these plant parts along with the plant families. We will start with the first part, that is the root. Root, as you know, is the cylindrical underground part of the plant. It is different from the stem in that the stem is the aerial part of the plant and the root is the underground part of the plant. There are other differences also between the root and the shoot. The root is non-green, that is, it lacks chlorophyll, but the shoot will have chlorophyll containing cells. It will be the green part of the plant. The shoot will bear nodes on it. Nodes are specific regions on the shoot from which the leaves and the branches arise. The leaves and the branches arise only from the nodes, not from any random place in between. The region between two nodes on the shoot is called as the internode. So the shoot has the nodes and the internodes, but the root does not have such kind of nodes or internodes. The root lacks nodes and internodes. It lacks leaves. It is non-green part of the plant. The shoot bears lateral branches arising from the nodes. The root also has lateral branches, but they do not arise from the nodes. They arise from very internal part of the root, unlike the shoot. Okay, the lateral branches of the root arise from deep inside the root, not from the nodes as in the stem. So let us write down these points. The root is the underground non-green part of plant, lacks nodes, internodes, leaves, has lateral branches and root hairs, but the lateral branches have endogenous origin. Endogenous meaning very deep-seated origin. This is an Ames extra point. Lateral branches of shoot have exogenous origin. Next, functions of the root. There are 4 different functions of the root. First of all, it helps the plant in absorption of water and minerals from the soil. Number 2, it helps the plant in firm anchorage to the soil. The third function of the root is that it helps to store food for the plant. The reserve food material of the plant is stored inside the roots. The photosynthetically created food from the leaves is transported to the roots to be stored inside the roots as reserve food material. That's the third function. And the fourth function is that it produces plant growth regulators, which are equivalent to the plant hormones, like auxins. Have you heard of auxins? Those are produced by the roots. So one by one, let us write down the functions. First function, helps in absorption of water plus minerals. Second point, anchorage to the plant. Third point, storage of reserve food materials. Photosynthete is the food that is produced by the process of photosynthesis. Photosynthetes. And fourth function is production of plant growth regulators, also called as plant growth hormones, like auxins. These are the 4 functions. Next, the root is not present like a single cylindrical structure, isn't it? It is associated with the root and many branches along with it. The main root along with its many branches together comprise the root system. Like how we have different systems in our body. Likewise, plants also do not have the root as a single organ. There are many other rootlets present along with the main root. Together they comprise the root system. Root systems. There are 3 different types of root systems that we will be studying. First of all, how does a root arise from a plant? Consider a seed. Let's take a bean seed. Let's open up the bean seed. There will be an embryonic axis, a small plant by itself. This whole thing is one small plant. It will have a small shoot, a small root, and 2 large-sized leaves it will have. These are its leaves actually. The small embryonic shoot is called as a plumule. The young embryonic root is known as a radicle, and these two leaves that this young plant has, these two leaves are called as cotyledons. Embryonic leaves. Radicle is the embryonic root and the plumule is the embryonic shoot. So how is a root formed? Basically by a direct elongation of the radicle from this young seed. So if this seed germinates, the radicle will arise like this and it will go down into the soil. It will keep on expanding and it will form lateral branches around it. So when the root system is formed by a direct elongation of that radicle, okay, forming a primary root, giving rise to branches like this. So if the root system comprises of a main root, which is a direct elongation of that radicle along with lateral branches, okay, wherein this main root is called as the primary root and the lateral branches that the primary root bears, these will be called as the secondary root. The branches borne by the secondary root will be called as the tertiary roots. This type of root system in which the main root is actually a direct elongation of the radicle bearing the secondary and the tertiary roots, such type of a root system is called as a tap root system. Tap root system. Primary root is the direct elongation of radicle. So the tap root system comprises of a primary root along with lateral branches. Lateral branches will be the secondary and tertiary roots. Such type of a root system is called as a taproot system, and this type of taproot system is mainly found in dicot plants. You know, dicotyledonous plants and monocotyledonous plants we had done, no? Dicotyledonous plants have two cotyledons and monocotyledonous plants have just a single cotyledon. Example, most dicots like pea, bean, gram, mustard. Then we move on to the second type of root system. In this case, you know, the radicle emerges from the seed in this manner, but the radicle, no, degenerates quickly. It degenerates. The primary root, that is the radicle, is very short-lived and it is replaced by a number of fibrous roots which arise from the base of the stem. Such kind of a root system is known as a fibrous root system. Such type of a root system will be mainly found in the monocot plants. Fibrous root system. Primary root, which is the radicle, is short-lived and is replaced by a number of fibrous roots arising from base of the stem. This is important. They arise from the base of the stem. Also, it is important to note that the radicle is short-lived. Such type of a root system will be called as the fibrous root system. Example, most monocots like rice, wheat, coconut tree, sugarcane, bamboo. These will all have fibrous root system. The main difference between taproot system and the fibrous root system is that the taproot system will still have its primary root and the fibrous root system will lack a primary root, which will be very short-lived and replaced by many fibrous roots. Another major difference that is not cited in NCERT is that the taproot system, this radicle can penetrate very deep within the soil and it can lead to formation of very giant trees, whereas the fibrous root system does not go very deep within the soil and the plants are not very giant sized trees. They are mainly herbs to moderately sized trees. Okay, it does not penetrate the soil very deep. So let's write these extra points here. Penetrates deep in soil, does not penetrate deep in soil. And then we have the third type of root system, which is called the adventitious root system. In the adventitious root system, the roots will arise from any part of the plant. The roots will arise from any part of the plant, like the shoot, the leaves, even any other part of the plant other than the radicle. It will have nothing to do with the radicle. The adventitious roots can arise from any other part of the plant other than the radicle. Example, in banyan tree. Have you seen a banyan tree? How the branches give off those large dangling roots which are known as the prop roots. Those are adventitious roots of the plant. So these roots arise from any part of plant other than radicle. Example, banyan tree. Then there is a plant called monstera which has big size leaves and through its shoot, you know, it has adventitious roots coming out from every node, okay, to give it extra support. So those are adventitious roots. In fact, sometimes fibrous root system is also referred to as adventitious root system, since the fibrous roots also arise from part other than the radicle, isn't it? So let's write down that Ames extra point here. Fibrous root system may also be called as adventitious root system. So these are the three different types of root systems.
In the name of Lord Mahadev, please subscribe.